So for the past few months, Procreate has been releasing trailers for Procreate Dream, and now it has been released on November 22nd. It is currently $19.99. I paid and downloaded it after the release and has been tinkering around with it. My first impression of this app is that it is good enough for basic animation, but still very lacking in a lot of features. There are things that I wanted the original Procreate app to be able to do for animation that I hope that Dream was able to accomplish, but a lot of features that is in the original Procreate app I couldn't find in the Dream app. The quick menu, for example. I really like the quick menu in the main Procreate app because I can quickly flip the page, toggle things on and off. Second thing is the straight line. In the main Procreate app, you can like draw this really bad looking line, and if you hold it hard enough, it's like magic. It suddenly becomes a straight line, so you don't need to draw a straight line yourself. Another thing is brush customization. You can import your brush from the original Procreate main app by dragging them in, but you cannot edit the brush in the Dream app. So it kind of requires you to have the main app to be able to access to the function of editing the brushes. So that's another negative thing I can see. Brush not having the same brush size is also another thing that I want to have in this app, because in the original Procreate app, you can click on the brushes on the side, on the slider, and you can click the save thingy, and when you slide the thing up and down, it's gonna snap to that place. I think it's important in animation as well to have like a really specific brush size that you use so that your brush will be consistent throughout. Also, flip horizontally on all. You can't flip horizontally on a single selection if you maybe group them all up and then you click on that three dots and flip horizontally, but I find that quite not very innovative. Another thing that is lacking is drawing guide. In the main app, you can create like a perspective guide and you can track on it, but in this new Dream app, you cannot have that. And I guess it's not the most important feature for now. I think the other parts like flip horizontally or brush customization is more important than drawing guide, but it's still a good thing if they do have drawing guides in this app. Another thing is reference. Now, the reference in the original app is being able to fill in the layer of the other layer. So you can set this other layer that is a line art as a reference, and you can create a new layer. You can fill in the new layer, and it will fill in within the bounds of the referenced layer, which is pretty important when it comes to filling in the colors for the animation. Another thing that's lacking is time-lapse. You cannot see the progress you made so far, which I think is not the most important feature that they need to include here, but it is still something that is missing from the original app. I think more important is the lasso tool. I couldn't find the lasso tool. You can I want to rotate this person's head, and then you can select the head and move it around. That you can do in the original app, but in the Dream app, you cannot do that. Now, all that has sounded pretty negative about the new app, because I was giving the bad news first, and then now I'm gonna give the good news. About what I like about this app that the original app doesn't have, and that is being able to add sound or music, because you cannot do that in the original app. So this is great. I like this. I also like how it's a timeline now. I prefer timeline when it comes to animating over layers, because you can easily see where things is, how you can put a bunch of drawings on top of each other. Not only can you import the music in, you can also import videos in. So maybe if you want to draw over the video, you can do that as well. Another important thing is no layers limitation. In the original app, one of the main complaints I see people have is layer limitation, where they've been drawing for so long, they want to make this long animation, and then it just say, oh, the layer is capped and now you can't draw more than that. Another thing that I like is that you can select multiple frames and group them together. So you can move a lot of frames. It's a lot easier to manage this whole thing compared to in the original app. You can even cut, copy, duplicate the group or the frames and everything. You can highlight it to make sure you can tell it apart easier. And you can blend mode it. You can make it multiply if you have a shadow layer. So you want to add in the shadow, and you can just change the blend mode. That's really good. Mask as well. You can mask and clipping mask it. So like, if there's this thing, like a shadow again, but you want to mask it within this ball, Another thing is tracking feature, where you can move a single image left and right, up and down as you wish. Live filter as well is just kind of the same as tracking feature, where you can move the things along the time, but this time you can make it become like Gaussian blur or opacity, which is really important and really nice. Okay, moving on. That's the positives and the negatives. And now into what both of them does have is that they can both use the same brush, even though only the main Procreate app can edit the brushes. But they both can add text. They both have onion skinning, which is great. I like onion skinning. And you can change the frame rate as well in both apps. I wish a lot of the flaws, as I mentioned, will be changed in the future. I really hope they update it and take in the feedback from the community and many people, because there has been a lot of comments and feedback I've seen about this in the reviews. Okay, so overall, you can still make some amazing animation, but it does take a lot of roundabout ways. For example, in this given animation sample from this artist, MATSU person, they filled in the colors by duplicating the line art group and filling in the colors in the duplicated line art group, so that way you have both the line art group and the colored group separated. It is a roundabout way, but it worked for them. It is the way that we can use right now in order to be able to fill in the colors without disturbing the line art group. While, in my opinion, I still think it's better off for people to get the main Procreate app over the Dream app, because there is still more features in Procreate app, like lasso tools, time-lapse and stuff. Overall, it's better for casual people, like maybe you don't know how to draw yet, but you want to get into drawing. I think the main Procreate app has enough features for you to be able to play around as much as you want. And also, even if you're professional animators, I feel like other apps still have more features and can do more things. Well, of course, this is like a new app. It haven't updated much yet. You would rather use something like Clip Studio for now, because it has all of the features and more. After Effects for rigging and stuff. So I don't think I would recommend this for professional animators yet, but I would still recommend this app for people who want to make animation all in one app on an iPad for fun. Like it's in an iPad. You don't need to get into your PC or laptop to edit things. You can do it all in one app. That's the main advantages I see this app is going for. That's great. That is my conclusion. I will continue to play around with it while hoping there are more big updates in the future. If a lot was improved upon, I'll revisit and tell my thoughts on whether this app is more appealing or not. Thanks for watching this video. All support and comments is appreciated. Bye bye!